There's a quote by Confucius which reads, "By 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First by reflection, which is the noblest. Second by imitation, which is the easiest. And third by experience, which is the bitterest." These are the recounts of some locals' most humbling experiences and how it's affected them in their lives today.
If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make them all day. I get one down in a second if you wait. Sometimes I think sitting on trains. Every step I get to, I'm clocking that game. Everyone's a winner, we're making our fame. Bonafide hustler, making my name. Sometimes I think sitting on trains. Every step I get to, I'm clocking that game. Everyone's a winner.
My most humble experience is when I was in a bike race and got a really bad concussion, and that humbled me because during my recovery, while I couldn't do anything, I realized how privileged I am and how privileged I was before the concussion, and how I should appreciate the things in my life more, and then I also felt for others with injuries more than I had before that, so it was pretty humbling.
My most humbling experience was probably when I went to Costa Rica last summer. I went with the Presbyterian Church on a mission trip, and we went to Santa Cruz, Guanacaste, Costa Rica. And there we built fences and helped the families in the community. We gave food to them. We played with the little children. And it was just a very humbling experience, I think, because my eyes were open to what is really happening in our world. And it really changed my view of different countries, because this was the first time I had been out of the United States, and it just really opened my eyes, and I got to see what was actually happening in our world and what I could do to help with it. And it really did change my life, and I really would love to go back someday or go to a different country and do the same type of mission work. It was just very eye-opening and very crazy, and I'm glad I got to go.
So my most humbling experience was one time I was at this Young Life camp, and a lot of us thought it'd be a great idea to sneak out and disobey the rules. So a bunch of us snuck out, and it was a great idea. We're all having a good time, but then some big mistake happened, and one of our friends he ended up dying, and it affected us in a lot of different ways because it was just so close. See a light, it was like choked down that fast. It was crazy. After that, so a lot of us came out of that like a lot more appreciative of what we have in life. We just kind of like we learn to live like happier, I guess, and also it helps to listen to rules a little bit.
Alright, I'd say my most humbling experience would be getting pretty severely sunburned a couple times in my life. One of them being last week. I think like getting so sunburned that you like can't move. It's pretty humbling because it's not only really embarrassing, but it's really painful. And yeah, I think in the future I'll be much more careful in the sun and just be a lot more grateful for like being able to move around and like painlessly and like be able to go on runs and stuff without it hurting really badly. Yeah, do you want to see my sunburn?
Sure.
Hit me on my banner, prepaid wireless. We pack and deliver like UPS trucks. Already going hell, just pumping that gas.
So when I was at my old high school, Prairie Central High School, I had an abusive ex-boyfriend, and he was really mean to me and like not only physically abusive but verbally abusive. So one day he snapped and he choked me, and it was really terrible. Like, it affected the rest of my school year. Like, I could barely pass classes. It was terrible, actually, but it was really humbling because you realize that you're lucky to be alive, and you're lucky that you have the push to move forward and like go forward in life. And so then I decided to move out here just so I could do a lot better. I feel like I'm doing a lot better as far as like my mental health, and as far as like I have healthy relationships, and before that wasn't possible. So I think that was my most humbling experience, just because it showed me that life is way too short to just have bad relationships and be in a place that you hate. So I just decided to pick up and leave, and it was like the best thing that ever happened.
In an effort to get a bit of outside perspective on the subject, we decided to interview 2 tourists that we met at the Monarch Crest from Texas. These guys were not only from a place that we consider to be very different from our town, but a little bit older than the people we interviewed.
My most humbling experience was a few years ago whenever I was in college, and I ended up deciding it wasn't for me, and I ended up dropping out. And whenever I did, I went to the dean of students, and she told me that she couldn't believe I was giving up on my future. And I just find it ironic now that after I dropped out of college, I ended up meeting a lot of amazing people that have really helped me out along this journey, and now I own multiple businesses and making a lot of money and being able to provide for my family now. And it's going to be real humbling for the dean of students whenever I go back in my Lamborghini and I show her that I didn't give up on my future, and just because you don't pursue formal education doesn't mean that you can't be successful. And self-learning is what makes you a fortune.
Awesome, thank you.
Coming up here on this mountain, we're from Texas, so we don't see stuff like this. It's pretty humbling to know that there's other things out there than what you're used to. Make sure you get out and explore. I want to travel more and see things I haven't seen before. Make sure that I know there's other things rather than just what I have going on in my life.
Sweet. Okay, thanks.